Below is a polished and enriched summary of Désiré Doué's career and biography, early life, and background, family, and roots. Désiré Doué was born on June 3, 2005, in Angers, a historic city in western France, known for its castles, universities, and a deeply rooted football culture. He was born to a French mother and an Ivorian father. Doué grew up in a multicultural household that valued both education and athletic discipline. The Doué family has strong footballing bloodlines. His older brother, Désiré Doué, also a professional footballer, plays for RC Strasbourg and represents Ivory Coast at the international level. The family's roots run even deeper into football. Désiré is also the cousin of Yann Giboho, who came through the Rennes Academy and now plays in Belgium, and Marc-Olivier Doué, another rising footballer. This family environment fostered a competitive, focused spirit from an early age. Childhood in Rennes, though he was born in Angers. Désiré Doué grew up in Rennes, the capital of Brittany. The city is known not only for its medieval architecture and progressive cultural scene, but also as the home of Stade Rennais FC, one of France's most respected talent academies. Rennes is also where Doué would eventually begin his journey into football at the age of just 5 years old. His early years were steeped in the game, with siblings and cousins who were constantly training, playing, and discussing tactics. Doué was surrounded by footballing conversations and informal coaching from the very beginning. His father, though not a professional athlete himself, was a driving force behind his children's development, ensuring they stayed focused, disciplined, and humble, even as talent became evident. Faith, character, and discipline in interviews. Doué has spoken about the impact of his Muslim faith on his life. Growing up in a practicing household, he observed Ramadan from a young age and was raised with values of humility, patience, and discipline. This grounding helped him navigate the pressures of youth football stardom. Friends and youth coaches recall him as shy, but focused, not flashy or boastful, but intensely committed. He wouldn't speak much off the pitch, but on the pitch, he let his feet do the talking, said one youth coach from Rennes. This humility would prove to be one of his defining traits as he rose quickly through the youth ranks. Entry into football. Désiré's formal footballing journey began in 2011, when he was just 6 years old, by enrolling in the Rennes Academy, a well-known pipeline that had previously developed talents like Ousmane Dembélé, Eduardo Camavinga, and Sylvain Wiltord. Even as a child, Doué stood out not only for his technical skill, but also for his football intelligence. He had an innate sense of spacing and movement that belied his age. While other children would chase the ball, Doué already understood the importance of positioning and timing. This made him a favorite among academy coaches, who began grooming him for leadership roles within his youth teams. His early development was supervised by the club's elite technical staff, who gradually moved him from winger to central midfielder, roles encouraging versatility. By age 12, he was playing above his age group. By 14, he was training with the U17s. Youth career and Rennes debut. The Rennes Academy pathway. 2011 to 2022, having joined Stade Rennais Academy in 2011 at just 6 years old, Désiré Doué was thrust into one of the most prestigious football schools in France. Rennes has a proven track record in developing top-tier talent, most notably Eduardo Camavinga, Ousmane Dembélé, and Romain Danz, and its elite development model is based on tactical discipline, athletic education, and personalized mentorship. Doué quickly rose through the ranks thanks to a combination of exceptional ball control, spatial awareness, and tactical adaptability. Initially deployed as a winger due to his quick feet and low center of gravity, coaches gradually transitioned him into more central roles, an attacking midfielder, and even a deep-lying playmaker. This shift allowed him to better orchestrate, play, and demonstrate his intelligence with the ball. By the age of 14, Doué was a regular for Rennes' U17 side, often playing against older opponents and still excelling. He earned a reputation within the academy for being 2 steps ahead of the game, someone who saw spaces opening before they actually did. His tactical education wasn't just shaped by club football, he also featured in regional selections, drawing the attention of France's national youth scouts, national, Youth recognition Doué received his first call-up to the France U16 squad in 2020. Shortly before the COVID-19 pandemic disrupted international youth tournaments. However, by 2021, he had become a mainstay in the France U17 setup. His standout moment came during the 2022 UEFA European U17 Championship, where France triumphed and Doué was one of the tournament's revelations. He scored and assisted in key games, showcasing his maturity on the ball and ability to handle pressure. Scouts from across Europe took notice, but Rennes quickly acted to ensure he remained part of their long-term plans. Professional contract and rise in 2021. At the age of 16, Doué signed his first professional contract with Stade Rennais. By then, he had already been training occasionally with the senior squad. Under the guidance of head coach Bruno Genesio, Genesio was especially impressed by Doué's composure and willingness to learn. He doesn't act his age. He's calm, extremely technical, and tactically very flexible. A coach's dream senior debut, August 2022, on the 7th of August 2022. Doué made his professional debut for Rennes in a Ligue 1 match against Lorient. At 17 years and 2 months, he became one of the youngest players in the club's history to feature in a top-flight match. Though Rennes lost the game 1-0, Doué's cameo performance stood out. He brought intensity and energy to the midfield, most notably completed every pass he attempted, a small but important signal of his poise at the senior level. Just 3 weeks later, on the 31st of August 2022, he scored his first professional goal. In a 3-1 win over Brest, it was a historic moment. Doué became the first player born in 2005 to score in one of Europe's top 5 leagues. The goal itself was a reflection of his style. Quick feet to maneuver in a tight space, a deft touch past one defender and a calm, low finish into the corner. Making a name in Europe in October 2022, Doué made his European debut in the UEFA Europa League against Dynamo Kyiv, coming on as a substitute. He scored the winning goal in a 2-1 victory, making him the youngest French player to ever score in UEFA competition at the time, that season. He would go on to make 26 Ligue 1 appearances, score 3 goals, and contribute to Rennes' qualification. For European football, blockbuster moved to PSG rumors and transfer buzz 2023 to 2024 by the end of the 2022-23 season. Désiré Doué had become one of the most exciting young talents in Europe. At just 18 years old, his standout performances in Ligue 1 and the Europa League had attracted the attention of Europe's biggest clubs, including Arsenal, Bayern Munich, Manchester United, and Paris Saint-Germain. Scouts praised his combination of technical finesse, tactical intelligence, and mature decision-making. As early as January 2024, PSG began preparing for a midfield rebuild. With Marco Verratti having moved to Qatar, Fabien Ruiz struggling for consistency, and Warren Zaïre-Emery expected to take on a more advanced role. The club identified Doué as the ideal long-term investment to homegrown French talent who could anchor midfield with creativity and flexibility. Rennes initially insisted on keeping him until the summer of 2025, however. Doué's desire to compete at the Champions League level, combined with PSG's growing pressure to invest in domestic youth, accelerated negotiations. The deal. Summer 2024 transfer in July 2024. PSG confirmed the signing of Désiré Doué from Stade Rennais on a 5-year contract for a reported fee of €50 million, including performance-related bonuses. This made him the most expensive teenager in French football that summer and one of the costliest midfield transfers in Ligue 1 history. The official club statement read, "We are thrilled to welcome Désiré, one of the brightest young midfielders in European football, to Paris. He embodies the future of French football." His transfer was also hailed by French media as a statement of intent. PSG, often criticized for focusing on marquee international signings, was now investing in local talent with a long-term view. Doué's statement upon arrival at his unveiling at the Parc des Princes, Doué spoke confidently, but with humility. "It's a dream to play for Paris. I grew up watching PSG, but now it's time to work, to fight, and to win. I want to learn from the great players here and help the club go as far as possible in Europe. Managerial trust and tactical role under new manager Luis Enrique, Doué was quickly integrated into preseason matches and training drills. Spanish coach, known for developing young players at Barcelona and Spain's national team, saw in Doué a versatile midfield solution. In possession, Doué could play as a left-sided central midfielder LCM in a 4-3-3, operating in half spaces. And contributing progressive carries and pressing systems, he could be pushed higher up the pitch, supporting Zaire Emery and the striker in high blocks in games requiring control. Enrique sometimes paired Doué with Vitinha, allowing both to alternate roles between holding and advancing. He listens, learns. He doesn't waste a minute. Technically, he's gifted, but his tactical maturity is what really surprises me. Doué made his competitive debut for PSG in the Trophy des Champions against Marseille.